Claw marks. Code's claw marks are one of the most unsettling abilities in Boruto. At first glance, they look like teleportation, similar to Minato's flying Raijin, but they're actually much more versatile. By scratching a surface or even a person, Code creates permanent portals. Once multiple marks are placed, he essentially builds a personal fast travel system across the battlefield. Unlike Minato's jutsu, these marks aren't chakra-based, so they can't be erased by karma, making them nearly impossible to counter. In combat, this makes Code terrifying. He can vanish, reappear behind opponents, or drag them through portals without warning. His Claw Grime creatures spawned from the marks add another layer of danger, acting like extensions of himself with Otsutsuki-level power. Still, the ability has weaknesses. Techniques like Sukuna Hikona and Daikoku-ten can shrink or remove the marks, limiting their impact. Even so, claw marks embody Ishiki's lingering influence, ensuring Code remains a nightmare opponent. Reflection demons. Reflection is easily one of the most overpowered defenses in Boruto. Despite looking like a playful child, Demon can flip any fight upside down. His Shinjutsu works by turning killing intent back onto the attacker. If someone tries to stab him, their own weapon strikes them. Launch a jutsu, and it rebounds instantly. It's not just blocking. Reality itself forces the enemy to suffer their own attack. The ability becomes even more broken when Demon touches someone else. Allies he's holding onto gain the same protection, making him the perfect bodyguard. In group battles, this turns entire squads untouchable while enemies destroy themselves. Still, Reflection isn't flawless. It only functions while Demon maintains contact. If isolated or caught off guard, he can be vulnerable. That narrow weakness is the only chance opponents have. Paired with Ada's reality warping omnipotence, Demon's Reflection makes the siblings one of the most chaotic threats in the series. Sukuna Hikona and Daikoku-ten. The twin techniques Sukuna Hikona and Daikoku-ten are among the most broken abilities ever introduced in Boruto, first showcased by Isshiki Ōtsutsuki and later inherited by Kawaki. Together, they don't just bend the rules of battle, they completely rewrite them. Sukuna Hikona gives the user instant miniaturization over any non-living object, no matter the size. Weapons, massive constructs, or even the user's own body can be shrunk in an instant. This not only makes Ishiki nearly impossible to hit, but also allows him to conceal devastating weapons until the perfect moment. Pair that with Daikoku-ten, a pocket dimension where time does not flow, and the true danger becomes clear. Anything Sukuna Hikona shrinks can be stored indefinitely without decay, then released at full size instantly. Ishiki used this to rain down black rods and summon massive cubes, turning the battlefield into a death trap. Even Naruto and Sasuke, two of the strongest shinobi alive, were forced into desperate defense. When Kawaki inherited these powers through karma, they gained a new edge. Unlike Ishiki's cold precision, Kawaki's use is driven by instinct, emotions, and shinobi creativity. His most shocking moment came when he dropped a colossal cube on Naruto, even while the Hokage was in Baryon mode, the strongest transformation ever shown. That single act demonstrated Kawaki's ability to exploit openings in ways Ishiki never considered. Of course, Sukuna Hikona has limits. Living beings or objects infused with biological chakra cannot be shrunk. But in real combat, where terrain, weapons, and traps fill the environment, this limitation hardly matters. Kawaki's evolving use of the techniques shows he isn't just Ishiki's vessel. He's shaping them into tools of his own. Ultimately, Sukuna Hikona and Daikoku-ten symbolize the terrifying potential of karma. In Kawaki's hands, they prove that shinobi instinct combined with divine power creates something even more unpredictable than the Otsutsuki themselves. Omnipotence. Ada's omnipotence is one of the most frightening Shinjutsu in Boruto, operating on a scale beyond ninjutsu or genjutsu. At first, people assumed her ability simply made others fall in love with her. In truth, that effect is only a side result. The real power is reality rewriting. Omnipotence doesn't cast illusions. It alters perception universally, reshaping how the world remembers events. Her most shocking use was swapping Boruto and Kawaki's identities. Instantly, everyone believed Kawaki was Naruto's son, while Boruto became the traitor. Unlike Infinite Tsukiyomi, which traps people in dreams, omnipotence edits reality itself, like rewriting a story. Alliances collapse, trust evaporates, and reputations vanish in seconds, all without Ada lifting a hand. The weakness is Ada's lack of full control. The ability often triggers subconsciously, tied to her emotions. Otsutsuki and a few rare individuals can resist, but the overwhelming majority cannot. That makes omnipotence terrifyingly divine, proving why Shinjutsu stands above all other techniques. Rewind time. Urashiki Otsutsuki's Time Rewind is one of the most underrated but terrifying abilities in the Boruto universe. With his unique Rinnegan, he could roll back time by a few seconds, essentially giving himself a personal reset button. If he miscalculated, took a fatal blow, or fell into a trap, he simply rewound and avoided it. In a one-on-one fight, that kind of safety net is nightmare fuel because every mistake becomes reversible. Still, the technique had limits. It was short range and reactionary, covering only brief moments. Unlike Kashin Koji's prescience, which let him foresee multiple outcomes and strategize, Urashiki's power was more about retrying the same move until it worked. This reactive style gave him survivability but not long-term dominance. Even so, Time Rewind blurred the line between ninjutsu and divine power. It showcased the Otsutsuki's unnatural control over reality and proved why Urashiki, despite being weaker than Ishiki or Momoshiki, remained a uniquely dangerous opponent. Jogan, Pure Eye. The Jogan, or Pure Eye, is Boruto Uzumaki's unique dojutsu and one of the greatest mysteries in the series. Awakened through Toneri's intervention and linked to the Star of Hope prophecy, it represents a potential evolution beyond the Byakugan, Sharingan, or even Rinnegan. Unlike other dojutsu, Boruto cannot fully control it. Most activations occur instinctively when danger approaches, almost as if the eye itself senses Otsutsuki-level threats. The Jogan allows Boruto to see chakra flow with extreme precision, detect weaknesses, sense negative emotions, and even perceive space-time distortions. This ability makes it invaluable in battle, letting him spot ambushes, track invisible foes, and counter dimensional travel. Its strongest potential seems tied to Momoshiki's essence, hinting at a synergy that could help Boruto resist or surpass Otsutsuki power. Though still developing, the Jogan's abilities suggest it may surpass all known dojutsu. More than a weapon, it feels like the eye of destiny shaping Boruto's future. Prescience. Kashin Koji's prescience is one of the most underrated abilities in Boruto, yet it makes him a terrifying tactician. Unlike the Sharingan, which reads movements, prescience reveals branching timelines, possible futures extending from each moment. This lets Koji choose the optimal path before events unfold, essentially playing chess with complete knowledge of every move. In battle, ambushes and traps lose their edge because Koji anticipates them in advance, preparing counters before opponents act. He's even used prescience beyond combat, applying it to training Boruto. By guiding him through best-case outcomes drawn from multiple futures, Koji effectively pruned weaker possibilities and created a sharper, stronger version of Boruto. This mentorship echoes Jiraiya's legacy, though refined with divine foresight. Still, prescience has limits. It cannot undo mistakes or change the past. It only highlights choices in the present. Success still depends on flawless execution. Even so, this Shinjutsu cements Koji as a strategist unlike any other. Karma Seal. Although both Boruto and Kawaki carry the Karma Seal, their relationship with it could not be more different. For Boruto, karma is a curse he never asked for. Imprinted by Momoshiki, the seal constantly threatens to overwrite his identity. Every time Boruto taps into its power-absorbing jutsu, boosting his speed, or accessing flight, he risks losing control. The fear of Momoshiki taking over and erasing his humanity defines his struggle. Boruto's journey is about resisting this fate, holding on to his own will while using karma as a weapon of survival. To him, karma is an unwanted burden that turns every battle into a fight for his soul. For Kawaki, the seal is the opposite, a salvation. Given karma by Ishiki, he sees it as the only way to protect Naruto, the father figure who gave him purpose. Kawaki embraces its abilities, Sakuna Hikona, Daikokuten, and enhanced durability without hesitation. His willingness to sacrifice himself for Naruto makes him reckless, but also terrifyingly committed. Symbolically, Boruto views karma as a prison, while Kawaki treats it as a sword. One struggles to break free from its chains, the other chooses to wield it, even at the cost of his humanity. Their opposing perspectives create the core tension driving Boruto's story forward.